green.
Oh, but Koa holds it around the outside, and he gets a way better exit.
Take it.
Pushing hard, already 3 wide into turn 1.
A little bit, and a group of Astons just piling up on him, trying to hold everybody off. Push him wide a little bit. Oh, but you can't make it stick.
Boonstra is able to hold the inside.
Got a little overlap, but he can't do it.
Ooh, and he just caught a knife.
Mr. Sir and King are banging doors.
Oh, shoot.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 3 long weeks here at SRA. The livery makers have been hard at work putting everything out. We have had our livery reveal stream, absolute blast of a time, but now it all comes down to tonight. It is Division 4, Round 1 at Barcelona. I'm Taylor Molyneux. With me, Bailey Kish, Waleed Sadat. If I butchered that name, let me know. How are you both doing after the long off season?
Well, Taylor, to start off season 6 with a butchered name, I'm proud of you.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
And I have plenty more names to butcher here later on the night. How about you, Waleed? How was your off season? How you feeling today?
It was good. Moved up the division. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that yet, and really struggled with practicing the track and its conditions.
It's going to be a scorcher here at Barcelona, notoriously famous for absolutely eating away at tires, being extremely hot. So we can't wait to get it going, as we are just kind of waiting for quali servers to go. But prematurely going to be asking Bailey, would you like to take us through some high overtaking areas?
Never premature, Taylor. I will always do this.
So if we pull up that track map, we'll let you go.
Barcelona, one of the most popular tracks, I would say, in the racing community. Just be my opinion, but very known for great racing, great overtaking. Popular spots we'll see is into turn 1. We'll see the power difference coming down the straight. Those Aston Martins, those Lexus, those Audis. We'll see those guys pulling up on the slower cars, McLarens, Porsches, probably going side by side, if not overtaking as they make it down into turn 1. But we will see a lot of side by side action there. Potentially follow it through turn 2 and turn 3. Probably won't see much there. We might see a couple into turn 4. Then it's kind of just chasing cat and mouse there all the way up into possibly turn 10, which is the heavy braking zone at the end of the middle straight there. And then it's probably going to be another tuck and roll for the rest of the lap there and try and make the overtakes in those key spots.
Well, thank you, Bailey, for that in-depth overtaking area. We'll hit a walkthrough later if you want. But for now, it looks like we are starting qualifying here. If we hop on over into the race, we do things a little bit differently here in SRA here for qualifying. We have 2 divisions. We have silver and gold, and I think we need to go into game and click drive real quick. But we have 2 divisions, silver and gold, here in your Division 4 section of SRA. If you don't know how it works, silver will go out first for the first 10 minutes. They have 10 minutes to set a lap. Once they cross that line after the 10 minutes, they can no longer set another lap. After that, our gold drivers will be coming out to set their final times. And if you don't know who's gold and silver, if you take a look on the left-hand side of your screen, everyone with a silver nameplate is our silver drivers. Everyone with a white nameplate is our gold drivers. Whew. First one of the season, got it done.
Proud of you.
Thank you, thank you. So we are just sitting here waiting for everyone to kind of round out their outlaps. I will ask Waleed, what are you expecting from this race? What cars are going to be powerful? Do you see any names on the list that you're like, that person's going to take it?
Martin Riggs, appropriately in P1 right now, is very quick for the silver division. I know that. I think that the Ferraris have a huge advantage here, Barcelona in particular. they're very good on their tires and can manage to put down laps without cooking them as much as everyone else will. The Porsches are very fast, but with the tire wear, with the temperature, I'm not sure if they can hold together a full race. It will be interesting to see who takes tires.
We are on board here with Riggs, who will be starting their first flying lap. And in your picture-in-picture window, you can see a Ghost Rider trailing their way down the straight.
Well, I will argue that Martin Riggs is a Ghost Rider, just in the wrong livery.
He is. He is running the TA Cup livery today, looks like.
The SRA official livery.
It is. It is nice, I won't doubt it, but, you know.
I agree.
I gotta say, non-biased Ghost Rider Racing livery is looking pretty nice.
Yeah. Just, I also feel a little devastated since I did make his specifically for him, and he decided not to run it today.
Nah,
But
he'll run it. He'll run
we'll
it
get
2
it.
weeks
I
from
get it.
now. So we are skipping next week due to Valentine's Day, but then we come straight back into racing right after that.
Chat saying we're having some issues with the stream. We'll
We
trying
are?
to fix that on our end.
Oh yeah, we are. We are having some dropped frame issues. Well, if you can hear my lovely voice at least, walk you through it. It's no one really being able to push too hard. Everyone kind of getting their banker laps in for the time being. Is an absolute scorching, but kind of a moderate day compared to other sessions that we've been in. 45 degrees Celsius only, when we've seen the temperatures get up to 48 degrees Celsius. How big of a factor does that change, Bailey?
Significantly, as Waleed said, the tire factor is going to be a very big concern today. I've always preached that changing tires in an hour race like this is more than likely unviable to make up that. I believe it's 26 seconds compared to the you're doing a 30-second stop compared to what could be a 4. So you're having to make up that 26 seconds in half a race. So it's been difficult, but a lot of people, like Waleed said, a lot of cars are going to definitely eat on those tires, and those who do like the pit might reap the benefits, but it's we'll see here in the next hour.
We will indeed. As our fastest person on track right now, David Off, putting it on provisional pole. Not sure if that time will stick though. That's a 45, and I have seen people doing 44s around here. So guarantee to hit that. Not sure if we'll see a 43 in this division, but we might get
Unlikely.
close.
Unlikely.
So do have 15 minutes left in qualifying, 5 minutes left in the silver qualifying.
Let's see who's
Sorry
having...
for. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say who's on a heater right now. If we look at White Scarf, he's up almost a quarter second on his time. We'll hop to him, and a very pretty Ferrari.
It's a very nice Ferrari. He did come in. He bombarded us in chat to make sure that his livery was working before we got on the track today, and it looks like it is a nice raspberry livery going around. Sorry for stream issues if we are still currently having them. Just week 1 things. That's how it goes. We'll definitely get those ironed out either throughout the race or hopefully by next week.
Looks like we smoothed it over a little bit. We will be fine-tuning things as we go.
Sweet Scrubber is rounding off the final corner. It is still around 4/10 up on their lap. Don't believe it's going to be... It is enough to put a provisional pole. So White Scarver, now your provisional pole leader, will have another 2 laps to go under their belt.
With qualifying, how many laps do you think you have? Like, granted, you have your short qualifying window, but how many laps do you really have before those tires start to feel a little secondhand?
Oof. I've felt
Personally?
maybe after 2 is about it.
Yeah, you kind of start falling off after your two kind of like push laps. You set your 1 banker to get your tires up to temperature, obviously, but after that, it drops pretty heavily. I will say, if I'm looking at the timetables, I see Rodriguez is on an absolute flyer, 5/10 up, and maybe just halfway done with his lap. Bill, you seem to be on board with who?
I'm with Schlitz right now at 4.5 tenths, coming up into turn 9 in a tricky corner as there is a car off in front of him.
As 4.5 tenths will indeed put him in front. but Zach Sky, Candola, all making up good times. Everyone really improving here on these laps.
Yeah. It's
Except
now
for
up 8/10 coming into the hardest section of the track is the third sector.
that is going to be a blistering time indeed. It's David Off also trying to put theirself on provisional pole. A little bit behind Schlitz, can make up more time. Schlitz probably in the hardest section of this track now to get right, which is the final chicane, is bleeding away some time, but is able to get it back on the exit. Didn't have the greatest of exit out of the chicane. Is going to be able to put it on pole.
He sure
We'll
does.
do that.
By a mile.
David Off making up a ton of time if we can hop on board with him. Coming out of final chicane, hit too much curb there. It's going to get a really bad exit here. Not going to be enough to put it on pole. Might be enough to put it in front of White Scarver, though. And will indeed have that. Has a ton of time to make up in that sector 3, though, after clipping that inside curb.
Looked to be about 4/10 in the final chicane.
Schlitz now putting it.
After a lap like that, do you feel better? Or do you feel worse? Do you feel, okay, cool, I have guaranteed 3/10 in my pocket? Or do you feel bad about not converting? As he teleports back to the pits, I don't know if he'll have time to get another lap in.
He will not, as we have under 2 minutes. He's not going to be able to make it around in time, but you definitely feel worse.
Yes.
You feel worse for wear because you think you're either on your final leaders or you think, I'm not going to be able to make up those sections again.
Or the conversation we had where the tires in qualifying fall off after your 2-3 laps, to come back around and try and, especially towards the end of the lap, to try and hold that same pace, if not quicker, on that same lap just to get to that sector is mentally tough.
It really is. And we're now starting to see the effects of wear on the tires. There's not many people, at least within the top 10 currently sitting on the board, have not been making up as much time.
Someone who is, though, is Rodriguez, up 3/10.
He is indeed defying all odds. So, if I'm not mistaken, we have 2 Rodriguez's in D4 this season.
Yes.
So we have a Aston Martin. They're both in Aston Martins. This is great. Driver 174 and driver 305, both Rodriguez's.
We might have 2 Lorenzos also. We have 2 Lorenzos.
We have 2 Lorenzos, and what is really bad for us about it is they both also share the same first name. So they both share the same first name. They both share Lorenzo. I think one put their last name as Philo.
Yes.
It might not be here tonight.
Yeah, Philho. He is here.
Philho.
He's in gold.
Okay. Big boy gold.
Yeah.
Speaking of gold drivers.
What would have been tough is if we had both Ken Miller and Kyle Miller.
We don't talk about that.
That would have been tough.
But speaking of gold drivers have been released. So any silver driver that finishes their lap now is donezo. And right now it looks like Schlitz will be your provisional pole leader for the silver drivers and overall, as Rodriguez is not able to make up enough time to put it up there. We do have a lot of silvers.
We do.
Is there anyone on gold we want to watch their outlap and maybe get a track walk with?
Yeah, we usually go around on their
hot lap,
quote unquote first lap. So kind of let them do their thing and
pick your person, Bailey.
Oh boy, who are we gonna go with? We're gonna go with Mr. Wolkowitz. Wolkowitz, yes.
Fellow Ghost Rider racing driver is kind of off in the pack here. Yep, that's okay.
There seems to be a Ghost Rider racing agenda here.
I mean,
we only push communism, so
no. Wait a minute. I didn't agree to this one.
Oh, you signed up.
I did indeed. Just like I'm gonna butcher the name. Just like Wolkowitz.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah. It's probably the best you'll get out of me.
If I said it first for him.
Is driving the Porsche this season. Lovely car to be in, as we saw over the past couple weeks in the off season, the kind of shift towards the Porsche and the AMR away from some of the more meta cars as that BOP update came out.
Are we saying the Porsche is not meta?
the Porsche was not meta. I could say the Porsche is on the
broken?
verge of meta. I think the BOP got kind of put it in its place a little bit, but I don't think it tarnished it too much. Speaking
It wasn't
of,
a major BOP.
it wasn't, but it was enough to knock some cars out. But you know who should be knocking some laps out of the park right now is Bailey Kish on board.
With Mr. Wolkowitz on our first lap here of the season, Barcelona de Catalunya, one of the greatest tracks in my opinion. Gonna make our way down into turn 1, arguably probably the heaviest braking zone and the hardest braking zone. Hit the 100-meter board, aim for this apex. You can take a little bit of the curb he does there. Gonna be on cold tires here, a little bit off the apex. That's okay. This is a tough corner as well. You could lose the rear end. Little bit of a lift in the Porsche. Some cars are a little more than a little, but in this car is a tiny bit. On the power as soon as you can. You can take this very wide, straddle this curb, hit your braking mark. A lot of people do the white line. Some people do the tower there, the bridge, but it doesn't matter. Either one is okay. Set yourself up nicely for this one. The hardest braking zone, as it is blind, there's not real many braking markers. There is the rubber on the curb that a lot of people use. Get it rotated there as you come down into this chicane. A lot of people do go off here, can get very invalidated as well as people do take too much curb on the inside. Up into turn 9, over the hill. Get as much apex as you can. Take full curb on the exit as you will not invalidate. And down into turn 10, another heavy braking zone. Another opportunity to overtake cars. Hit the 100-meter board. Little late on the brakes, but that's okay. Get it turned in. Coming into the final sector, which could be the hardest sector as well of this track. Let the car coast through here, get on the power as early as you can, let it coast out, use all the curb as possible. Come down here, hit your braking mark, let it coast in as well, get as much of that apex, shift it in, drop it down to first, hit this apex, set yourself up nicely for the exit of this one, get on the power as early as you can, takes just the right amount of curb, and it's flat out till the end.
Thank you
Well
for
done,
that
Mr.
on
Wolkowitz.
board, and that will put him P12. Not a bad banker lap.
Nope, pretty good.
So the rest of the gold division drivers are now setting and improving all around the board right now. So while they do that, we can jump on board with one of them. Maybe Craig looks to be on top to put in a provisional pole lap. So we will be watching him. And while we watch him, I'll ask Waleed, we have a different strategy in terms of last season. We tested it out a little bit, but today we are doing another 40-minute just want to explain kind of strategies that can come into play here?
Oh yeah, with the 40-minute pit window, you have a lot more flexibility to plan an overcut or an undercut. I think for the top guys, the strategy doesn't change that much, generally speaking, even with the 15-minute pit window or a 20-minute pit window. If you're at the front, you're going to wait till the very end of the pit window so you can dodge any kind of traffic and not get caught up by people overcutting you. But with the 40-minute window, you can go for an undercut, try to get out of traffic early and try to hot lap for the race. You have more flexibility if you're caught in a train when you can dive out, duck into the pits. That combined with the extremely high temperatures and the severe tire drag, I'm going to be very curious to see how drivers approach the much larger pit window and the opportunity to take tires, which is not normally something we do in an hour-long race.
We do not, but judging these very harsh temperatures here, it very much could be a thing as we watch Craig go over the line. Not fast enough to set a provisional pole time, but could definitely get on it. Lots of time to make up there. Dunham is now making up almost 1.5 tenth of their time as we jump on board with them.
Just through Sector 1. And reference again to the severe track temp, it's 45 degrees C, which in freedom units is 113 degrees Fahrenheit for the track temp.
Freedom units.
Freedom units.
So
and
it's hot.
That's actually pretty light here for a qualifying session that we've seen in the practice servers where we've seen 47 and 48 degrees Celsius come up. So can help a little bit, keep those tires a little bit more, last a little bit longer as we cast our curse to Dunham a little bit. Is able to make up time and then lose it all again. So we'll have to send it back around. Hopefully can get something under their belt.
Half a second down at the last lap time. Clear error, but I think he'll get it back around. He has time for one more lap, maybe 2.
He has time for 2. He can get around. He'll get around in 3 minutes instead of another lap. But while he does that, let's go on board with someone else who's making up a lot of time here.
Caleb Craig shooting for pole right now with 4/10 up on his lap.
And that is in your picture-in-picture window.
That is I don't have him, but I'm just looking at the timing.
Okay, well, that is not. I cannot see. Caleb
Pull
Craig
him up.
in the final sector.
Ooh.
Ooh, clipping too much curb and getting that sausage curb on the exit, so that's slowing him
it's gonna be
down.
close. I don't think he's gonna get it.
I don't think so either.
Oh,
It's just going to
no.
be a few hundredths off of Schlitz. Schlitz in a very good position right now, or very bad, depending on how you view starts at this track.
He's pushing for that gold plate for the next couple races. Wants to get pushed
Yes.
up.
Now we will have some reclassifications over the next three weeks probably, so we may see people come in and out of the divisions, get shuffled in the gold or down the silver. So nothing's set in stone in terms of championships, and we still have 8 long races to go through. So it's not all one here in the first race. So we're
Craig.
on board. Looks like Craig is catching some traffic here. He's gonna have to back out. We'll be able to get one more lap in, but has to put on a decent gap.
I mean, he was up 2/10 until he ran into the back of that Lexus. So I think the pace is definitely there. He only needs 400ths.
He's definitely there, and we'll be able to set it once he gets around. Again, everywhere else across the board is pretty much losing time. It looks like maybe tires have finally just given out. We have a mixed field here for Division 4. Golds and silvers spread out alike.
For reference for the chat, white plates are our gold drivers and the gray plates are our silver drivers. And that is consistent through the divisions.
It is indeed. It's a very important part. Mainly just relies for qualifying on when you go out on track, but also matters for the championship battle. But we don't look into that too much on the first couple weeks. We will start getting heated once we hit week 4 or 5, when everyone's kind of like locked in to their divisions. It's Craig starting their final flying lap, hoping to make up the 400ths that they need. Some game audio. That looks to be really loud. Turn that down a little bit more. More. Yes.
Week 1 things. Week 1 things.
Week one things. Please let us know if it's too loud, too soft. We'll make your changes.
You're too soft.
Thank you. You know who's not too soft? Craig. They're going hard. Almost 2/10 up on their time. Only needs 400ths. No one else really making up time. Colin making up time down in P21 right now. Just barely a 10th. Is enough to knock him above Zach Sky, but we do kind of want to stay on board here with Craig, as they ended up losing a ton of time in that section. So hopefully that little nick on the exit of the final chicane can make up all that time right back. This qualifying is over, so anyone that crosses the line is done. No one can start a new lap. Rounding out the final turns, coming here into the chicane. Moment of truth, if they can put it on pole. If not, they're still in the front row. Craig getting a better exit than last time. Is able to make up time, but I don't know if it's going to be 400ths. Doesn't look like it will be. We'll just end up sending another decent lap, and that will end your qualifying there.
That's got to be frustrating.
It is frustrating. We do still have a few cars on track, still going around. No one really making up time. G. Smith, though, is making up a decent amount of time. 5/10 up on their time. We'll end up somewhere up in the P20s here. P23. And that is the end to your qualifying, your provisional, or your pole leader, Schlitz from the silver division, followed by Craig, Davidoff, Dunham, gold. Good starting 5 for our first qualifying of the season.
Lots of Ferraris.
Kind of surprises me though. I would have thought the AMR would have been up there in the qualifying sessions.
I think the AMR's advantage here is going to be ease of driving rather than outright pace, where like, I think the Ferraris have it's just a huge advantage.
That is true. That is true. Normally at this time later on in weeks, we take a moment to look at standings. Fortunately, we don't have standings because everyone's on 0. So if we direct our attention to the pip window, Bailey Kish is going to be doing a nice little fly through to show off these liveries that everyone have spent weeks making.
Got a lot of great artists in SRA, and they really took it out as we had no theme this season. Got a
Creative
couple of
freedom.
good-looking cars here. A little Zelda action. Austin Weisscarver and his beautiful
Arizona T Port.
Yes,
Porsche?
we love it.
And Porsche.
And then you got the iconic.
Ghost Rider Racing. Arguably the best livery on the grid. Let's be real.
Let's be real. A lot of great liveries, so I really like this one as well. Really good looking livery.
We really knocked it out of the park this season, boys and girls. Really great job all across the board.
Love
If
it.
you would have to choose, now I'm biased here, favorite livery. I know Bailey's going to say Ghost Rider Racing, and I'm going to say it as well. Waleed, what is your favorite?
My favorite currently on the grid?
Yep.
I really like Weisscarver's Ferrari.
I agree.
I think
It's
this
a great
is
looking
a
car.
great looking car. If I can get a view that's
We're a little
not,
blocked by this time.
give me a view.
Well, we'll definitely get a view as it's running around the track, but we have seen it in the picture-in-picture window. We are just finishing up the back half. That is a
Badman's livery.
That is a Batman's livery. That is from season 5, if I'm not mistaken.
That is a previous season.
I will say my favorite SRA livery of all time is the original Comic Racing McLaren from season 4.
I don't think I got to
is
see
one of
that
the
one.
best looking liveries we've ever put together as a group.
Comic Racing has put together some great looking liveries as I'm
Indeed.
dying.
As drivers are getting away from the line, we're starting the formation lap. Everyone's going to be looking to, I would say, warm up their tires, but judging by the 42 degrees Celsius temp, wouldn't be so hard, but warming up them brakes. Look at everyone just kind of clustering up. Everyone going to get back in single file. So I do need to ask both of you, what's our turn 1 expectations here?
Ooh.
Death.
I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
That's one way to put it. It is the first race of the season, so mistakes will happen.
I think I'm actually less concerned about turn 1. I'm more concerned about turn 2. I think turn 2 here is the big issue.
Okay, I see it. I will say, judging, this is just from the D2 Silver D3 race last night. Turn 1 wasn't terrible. There wasn't really a big accident or everything. Everyone kind of slotted their way through.
There's nothing on the line, Tyler.
Fair enough. But now everything's on the line, obviously.
Exactly.
First race, first minute. If you're not leading this upcoming lap, you're not winning the season. Let's be honest.
Everything's won in first turn here.
As when we do get going, we will be looking at the front pack on your main camera. So we'll look around the 1, 2, 3s, and 4s in helicam mode. You can see the back of the pack in your picture-in-picture window when the race gets going. And of course, the back of the pack is where chaos ensues.
Yeah, usually the train effect hits harder.
It does. We do just kind of want to watch more of the 4th or 5th position drivers so we can get a better view of both the front and kind of back behind the 5th driver pack. So I'm still outstanding by these liveries. Now cars will be directed to go double file here, as you can see, as chaos ensues in your picture-in-picture window. Everyone driving past each other just to catch up. It's kind of a short run-up, to say the least.
For sure.
Thank God there's no collision in this portion of the race.
Yeah.
Yes, we would be turned around sideways, upside down even. So
Upside down.
is
We'll save for Bathurst.
Oh,
indeed.
can't wait for that one.
We are starting to head onto the main straight here. Hopefully your brakes are warmed up, your tires are probably warmed up to the baseline. Still going to be cold, still got to take it slow as we are approaching the line.
We still have cars coming through the chicane.
That is not a good sign. But for the first time this season, I can finally say the green flag is waved and we're already starting to bunch up. Gets a good exit here is Schlitz, but another 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers coming down on the inside. Look at that spread all the way across the track. Everyone diving out to the outside, trying to go side by side. Is going to be able to
we have
through.
murder.
There is death on the back stretch, but we will stick here with the front pack. There's a tap in the back. Nothing really coming from there. Everyone kind of slot right back in line. No one really going side by side here, except it looks like Davis is starting to. So we do have a drive-through penalty for Tibbets. Nothing really ensuing.
Tibbets was caught up in the end of turn 1 action there.
So we do still going side by side is that Ghost Rider. Literally couldn't pick out the name of that driver, but still going side by side. The front pack has kind of sorted it out in line. Going up to turn 9, which is not really a good corner to go, but side by side. And Billy, explain what you saw in the picture-in-picture.
Like I had called it out before, there was the late chain reaction of early braking in the back of the pack. It got to the corner a lot earlier than they should have, and it was just bumper to bumper to bumper. So a couple of misfortunate starts, but we have another spin.
More spins in the back field. Fortunate series events. This is week 1, so mistakes are bound to happen, but you know what's not getting mistaken is Craig's absolute ability to put it out there. Currently still leading. Schlitz got the overtake done by Schlitz. Schlitz still holding on just by a thread. As there is a big accident in the chicane. That is right on the exit. Multiple cars getting caught up in that collision, having to avoid cars dipping and diving everywhere. Is able to get off the racing line, but that's a good bit of cars that's kind of piled up.
Oh my gosh, and I just tuned in and
there's more on the front stretch. If we could get a camera on the main stretch there. Yep, Rodriguez turned around, and we are still going too wide down in the turn 1. That is Miller going
Rodriguez
side by side.
Straight to the pits. Must have had significant damage going into the wall on the
your wheel is sideways. Your wheel is sideways at that point. And we are still side by side here with Farron and Donahue. Donahue holding the outside, is able to keep it clean. Not going to go on the inside of anyone. Still side by side coming up here. There's contact ahead. Not really sure if that caused any big damage, but we're still good. Donahue is going to try to slide right back in line. Not going to be able to. Actually goes a little bit wide there.
Robichaux.
We'll just have to hold on.
Not Donahue, Robichaux.
Donahue looking down. Robichaux looking down on the inside. Not going to be able to get the move done. Slide back in line. We are still side by side. This is how close this division is.
Oof.
And there's a car spinning off track. Good thing not going to be able to hit the wall. It is going to stall, and Farrer is going to get this overtake done on Thompson.
RIP to DJ Watts as he gets spun off in his Jag.
Very bold to take the Jag, to say the least. As we are still side by side.
Just trying to hide it with the Lexus logos. Very, very brutal first 2 laps here.
It is. Everyone's kind of sliding in for this chicane up here. Below one of the Lorenzo brothers is going to hold his position side by side. We're actually going here into the chicane. Anyone going to pull out? No, we're still side by side. Is going to be able to get the move done. Go on to the front stretch. What happened, Billy?
Boonstra coming out of the last chicane had a moment, was slow on exit.
What will happen is we're about to go 3 wide here, down into turn 1. It looks like if the brakes are late enough, ISTAR 2 wide, it will happen. No 3 wide. Ghost Rider side by side right now. It's Kevin Unda trying to hold. He does hold his own here, but will end up losing the position. Throws off the mega block in the corner. Someone is off and slow. All the cars going to go right by, passing him. The racing leaders side by side ahead. I believe that's Platt and Shepard. Side by side. Shepard able to get the move done. Platt going to just slot right back in line. Not going to have a dive at it. So we'll just stay right there. Bad exit there, it looks like, from one of the Ghost Rider people was able to hold it together.
Catch your breath.
Very eventful.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah. We have a long way to go here. As I see Justin about to try and make this side by side into the heavy braking zone. Is going to go in, not avoiding contact. 3 wide. Saw a car kind of put their nose there. Justin is able to get away cleanly. Unsure for that pink Porsche, unfortunately.
Porsche of Candola, sticking their nose a little aggressively into the apex of the big braking zone. I don't know if that was a great idea.
Luckily, not too bad of a wreck, but is able to get out of it. There's definitely damage to both cars there. When you get damage on that Porsche, it's a little bit more heavier than most cars, to say the least. As Boonstra trying to break the toe, or trying to get the toe, it actually ends up veering off into the grass, or is that connection issues? Either way, trying to hold it together. That Porsche engine just very weak on the straights, but so powerful in Sector 3.
Huge train of about 10 cars separated by no more than a second here from 30 to 40 pretty much. Fair gets up the inside of Platt into the braking zone for 5 and gets the move done. It's clear. Very cautious racing from this mid to lower pack field here. Everyone trying to make it through the lap without hitting each other, trying to keep damage off their car, trying to keep their tires alive. Update on our leaders, Chris Craig's still ahead, 0.7 ahead of Schlitz, and they are 2.5 clear of P3.
Update, Taylor's power went out, so it is just Wally and I for the moment. Going to be covering for Taylor the action. We'll try our best to copy what he does, but it ain't going to be exact. Unfortunate events. But Wally, what are you looking at?
Right now I'm looking at the bunching up the field between 30 and 43, where there's no one more than a second off of each other. Big train of cars coming down, and I was just updating chat on how our leaders have built a bit of a gap. Craig is now 1.3 ahead of Schlitz, who is 2.5 ahead of Dunham in P3.
I mean, we even have a 5-car battle here for P4.
All right, guys, I'm back. I had to step out of the booth real quick. Totally wasn't a power issue. What I miss?
Well, nice try, because we already said what happened.
Dang. Oh, as that happens, Ghost Rider is going into the grass. Might still be able to get the move done. Still side by side here is fair. Is able to get done. There is collision in the back. 2 people colliding. That's a dead stop on track there.
Shepard moves off track and has to wait and wait and wait. Oof.
Very clean driving from Shepard to at least find the safety, as we have another dive going down. Not going to take it too much power on the exit, but is still going to go side by side here into turn 9. Not what you want to do. There is collision. Both cars going to go wide, but one's going straight into the inside wall.
Thompson definitely getting the worst of that exchange.
And Gould, who was holding P4 at the moment, went off right before the final chicane and has now dropped back down to P7, potentially P8.
Jump to him, Bakes running him down in the Porsche down the main straight, but the Porsche engine just does not have the legs.
Oh, goodness, and Wreck almost goes into the back of White Scarver.
And he questionable rejoin, almost making it 3 wide there. Not gonna do it. A Ghost Rider car etching to get on the outside, is able to do it, has the power to keep going. They're door bashing, does have the outside, not the favorable line here, but can they be late on the brakes? They can. Gonna try to hold the power all the way on the outside, not gonna try for the switchback here. Going to stay on that bumper, going back to the outside, not gonna try for the dive here. We'll just slot right back in line, not to try to force anything, as we do still have 50 minutes left in this race.
And as you said, that the pit window actually does open up here in the next 5 seconds.
It does. So anyone that has major damage will probably dive into the pits, get that fixed. We'll clear out their pit. And also, if you spun, gonna probably need to change the tires.
Close on track battle with Rodriguez and Donnie a little bit further behind from P15. We'll jump to. Again, they're just so. You guys said there's 50 minutes left. It's been so much racing already.
It's unbelievable.
This division's so tightly packed together that it's insane how close the gap was just in qualifying, and it's kind of showing here in race as we're about to have another side-by-side here. Gonna pull out though, good defensive move there to keep that car behind. I believe that was Santos who pulled off that move. Very good job, but is able to stay on the bumper as well of the car ahead. No action going to really happen here in the final chicane. Hopefully, I mean, we saw it on, was it lap 1 or was that lap 2?
It's been a lot of laps. The reason behind we see these big accidents going into the last chicane is one person misses that, or they go too deep in the first part of the chicane and they try to come back. They're slow on exit, so everybody behind them is slowing up, and it's just a chain reaction of people not being able to slow down in time.
I have to wonder what all this. There's been a lot of on-track battles, a lot of fighting. I have to wonder what this is going to do to the tires at like the 20-15 minute mark towards the end of the race.
They are not going to like it. So we almost saw another side-by-side happened. Good to not do that, because that outside line in turn 3, not the line you want to take unless you can really get the power on early.
And we are seeing a couple cars already ducking in the pits. Jan Rodrigues, Mr. Smith, Fair, and McKechnie all diving in to take that early pit stop, maybe fix some damage, go for some sort of undercut. We'll see who's taking some tires, jumping into the pits. We do see a long pit stop for a few people.
I definitely know McKechnie does have some damage after that. I believe it was a pink Ferrari or Porsche. One of the two dove down on the inside and tagged his left side of his car, so might be getting that fixed, maybe have some downforce issues with that.
I believe that was the 166 Porsche in the turn 10. Porsche Candela. Right.
This guy has memory.
Speaking of memory, I did say the Ferraris be fast, and 4 of our top 6 are Ferraris. Update on the race leader. Craig is 2.5 seconds clear of Schlitz, who is 3 seconds clear of Dunham, which is part of the reason I will say that we haven't seen their cars in a while. I'd like to bring the action.
We are starting to see some of these gaps kind of form between cars now. Not huge, but we are going side by side here. Down in the turn 1, holding the outside is the Ghost Rider car. We'll get it, is able to get the cutoff there. And we'll just hold that position for the time being. And I know how painful it is for that Aston Martin to have to stay behind this Porsche. It is not a fun time in the straights, because every single time you think you can beat them, but they just get you in the braking zone.
There are braking markers, and then there are Porsche braking markers, which are a different language of braking markers.
Correct. You normally brake maybe 125. Porsche's taking it at the 100. So we're just sliding back in line. Perfectly fine here. Still 45 minutes left to go, or 46, sorry about that. Long race to be had.
And it's only just begun.
It is. What a way to start off our week 1 endeavors here at Barcelona. Track's still scorching.
I was just about to say, the track's cooled off. Instead of 113 degrees Fahrenheit, it's only 106 compared to qualifying. optimal,
That will
honestly.
help the tires.
Yeah.
That will help the tires just a bit. Not will maybe cool down some overheating and some wear. Is the Aston Martin going to make a dive here? Not going to do so. That was the Porsche. Sorry about that. Porsche will end up falling off here on the straight. And the Porsche in front will end up being caught here on the straight.
Well, it does look like they are teammates. Might be some team orders going on here.
I don't think it plays like that. I'll be honest with you. And the Ghost Rider Chad does not go down like that.
Slow him down. Let me pass him.
Race for all. We may be a conglomerate. We still race each other hard.
Not as hard as Plan E when we ended up taking each other out.
Yeah, that was skill.
Yeah,
that was talent.
That's top class right there.
Don't want to see your plans.
I mean, you know, they're inspired by the actual team.
That's why it's plain. Looking down the list, I'm not really seeing a ton of close gaps. I do see a yellow flag though, quickly cleared out though, so nothing to sneeze out there. Pack of 4 almost going in the back there. Decent on the brakes.
It can be so frustrating being behind the McLaren into a big braking zone because the McLaren has the opposite of the Porsche brakes, where the thing just will not stop.
Yeah.
And still has less engine power. Unfortunate series of events.
We have an incident. Half spin.
Rowley might have just gone too much on the power there.
Or touch that inside curb.
Either way.
So,
A spin. Those tires are now gone. I just want to say that. Yeah, look how it's very hard. He's having trouble holding that outside line on that corner. Guarantee he'll have some issues trying to come out of the exit here.
it's okay. It's only 44 minutes, 100-degree track times. It's fine.
Yeah, he should be going for tire change. If not, he has a different game plan in mind.
Jump to Donahue's fighting through Sector 3 with a bunch of people.
Ooh, that is a big group of 3 people there in the chicane. Good thing nothing happening there. I can't say what's likely as I just saw 4 yellow flags pop up on my radar. Fortunately, we would not be able to see that. But I don't know what happened there. Maybe we'll look back at the race replay if you want afterwards. Nothing happening down here in the turn 1, just line Porsche trying to catch up to, I believe that's a Lexus, if I'm not mistaken. Not gonna be able to do so. That engine power is just too mighty for the Porsche to handle. We'll have to try to make its way back up in Sector 3. These battles have kind of calmed down everywhere. We do have some tight gaps here. We're looking at one of them right now as well.
We jump up to the P6 fight here. P5, P6.
This is a big one because there's no draft in front of that car, and they're both Ferraris. So White Scrubber should technically be at a disadvantage here when we come onto the front stretch.
How many car lengths back do you guys feel like the draft here is worth? 1 or 2? Maybe more?
It depends on the vehicle, I think.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Depends on the vehicle you're in, depends on the vehicle you're following. If you're in the Lexus, you're punching a wider hole for someone than someone in the Porsche.
Got it.
If you're in equal cars here, it looks like it might be just one. It doesn't seem like White Scrubber is catching all that fast, but you don't need the battle right now. Pick and choose. Still have a good bit of race left in the night.
We say that, but he's definitely gained through the beginning of the Sector 1.
Oh, yes. There's no doubt about it. There's gains to be had there. Just choose your battles, when to dive, when you really want to send it. We'll see that probably in the final 15 minutes.
So we see a yellow flag back on track as someone gets past. I think it's going to be okay otherwise, though.
Ooh, going a little deep there is going to set White Scrubber back a little bit. But it should be good enough. Just hold on to that draft.
We jump on with Kyle Miller, or Ken Miller, I'm not sure which one, but he's
That
being
is
hounded.
Kyle. Yeah, this is Kyle Miller. Kevin Miller is not in that position.
Oh, well, that answers that.
Kyle Miller is going to have to throw on the big boy conductor hat here. Try to make that train work. Put on the defensive move, but he also has cars in front of him that he can aim for. Bailey, what do you have going on in your neck of the woods while we watch this battle happen?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
No, just got the battle for P5 between Whitescarver and Gould. Only split by 0.2. They both go deep in the chicane before coming into the left corner.
That was Whitescarver's chance, but Whitescarver's actually all over the bumper
Back
now.
Whitescarver's in the front.
Whitescarver's, my bad. Whitescarver's gonna have to pull off some very naughty defensive moves here down into turn 1. Side by side we go. Whitescarver on the inside.
Which will be the outside for the next corner.
Will be the outside, not what you want. Going a little deep. There is contact between the two. Whitescarver gonna hold that position for now, but that's that's damage on both of those cars right there.
Absolute scenes. Luckily, the Ferrari takes side panel damage like a champ.
He does not a huge part of the car to get damaged and lose massive amounts of time.
Although that being said, even a little bit of damage, it causes a little bit of tire slip magnified over the 40 minutes of the race left in really hot weather. That could be an issue.
You'll feel it.
And all that fighting, by the way, has invited Banks behind, who was 4 seconds back a lap and a half ago, and is now within 0.8, chasing him down.
Absolute madman. In the Porsche as well. Not a small feat to catch up to some Ferraris here.
You gotta think he's thinking, let him keep fighting. I need another lap. Let him keep fighting.
Oh, I think that every single time when I'm in this position. Sometimes we cross our fingers, hope that there's more contact made. So we're coming around. Wonder what happened to Kyle Miller. What battle he's in. Sorry?
I don't even see it. Oh, there he is.
This is battle for P4 is still going on, and we are closer than last time. In fact, inviting Banks here, will we go too wide down here, or will the two Ferraris just decide to stick it together? We are going to go too wide, sticking their nose to the outside.
I think Whitescarver's losing his position here. He's opened the door.
Whitescarver is tried to close it real quick. Actually, will end up losing the position to Banks as well. Gold. Sorry.
I'm sure that'll be a ticket.
Top free. We cannot, unfortunately, make comments on that.
I agree.
But it will certainly probably be a ticket.
That was a return the favor move.
And take it and give it. Yes.
So Gold now holding P5, 12.5 seconds behind Davidoff, who's in P4.
Banks now going to be looking to get all over Gold here.
Again,
Porsche
has
on
damage.
Ferrari action. Exactly. That damage might cause some drag here, which will help the Porsche on the straights, which is where it lags everywhere. So if it can get all the advantages here on the straights, even catch some of that slipstream, just to kind of keep them up to them or even get them closer, could be devastating, especially down into these heavy braking zones. Porsches love to make lunges. People don't expect it.
And you can visibly see the gap shrink at every big braking zones, which are there in turn 10.
Yeah, when you're being full, and Banks actually losing on the curb, so is going to end up losing the position to Whitescarver and has to slot back in line. And this has now opened the door for Davis. And
those tires are cooked.
Yeah, they're done. They're done. There's collision contact on the chicane. We're still side by side. Davis going to be losing out to that position. Banks going to be holding the front for now, but that power from the Aston should make up. Side by side we go down into turn 1. Banks is going to try to hold the outside. Is able to do it. We'll have the inside for the next turn. No contact. Good racing by the two. Trying for the switchback. Not going to be able to get done, so we'll still have the inside here for turn 3. Is able to hold that position fine. On the curb we go. Not going to be able to gain enough time from it. Will they poke their nose out down on the inside? Doesn't look like it. We'll just slot right back in line. for this turn, and I know Davis is chomping at the bit at both of these Porsches. Battle for P7 is heating up faster and faster. This Porsche is finally pulling away here in this sector 2. This turn's just overpowered for them. As we do have Banks is off. His tires are absolutely done, overheated. Might be time to come into the pits, possibly get some tire changes. Do whatever you need to do because your grip is gone, brother.
Even if he doesn't change tires, he's going to get a chance to cool off while you're in the pits.
Indeed. You're still having that battle though for P7. Davis still trying to get all over the back. White Scrubber has driven off and taken advantage of this battle. So good on him.
Is that an AMG behind the Aston?
Probably.
I wonder
I
who's
cannot
in the
see.
AMG.
That might be a blue flag.
We have 2 AMGs, Tibbetts and McKenzie. So it has to be one of them two.
That would indeed be a blue flag. They're a little too far back for battling for that position. Spanks is gone into the pits.
As
And
has
David off.
from P4.
Yeah, pretty bold strategy there. We'll see if that pays off.
Yep. Keep your eye on them. See if they have longer pit stops than needed.
And, just to show to the left to Craig, who's currently our race leader. He's almost 4 seconds clear of P2. 3.7.
Maneuvering through lap traffic pretty well, I might say.
Yeah, looks like we haven't seen any yellow flags, haven't seen any issues. He currently has the fastest lap. His purple lap is a 44.9, which I think is basically my qualifying pace in P3.
No. Because we're about to go side by side here with blue flag.
David off confirming taking tires. 30, very long pit stop of at least 30 seconds.
Let's keep an
See
eye
how
on
this
that.
pulls off. He was P4 when he went in, so let's see where he's at by the end of the race, or where his other field.
P22 currently.
Definitely has a lot of time to make up, to say the least.
As
But
Schlitz
if you drop that much time,
yeah, Schlitz hits traffic at the worst possible time through the chicane in sector 3.
it's diving into the pits though, so probably good. Wanted to get out of that traffic, less slowdowns.
Yeah, but I personally, I think as one of the race leaders, it's a little early with 23 minutes left in the pit window.
Oh, no doubt about it. But I mean, if you think about it and you just kind of, see a sea of blue cars ahead of you, you might just want to be like, yeah, I'm going in.
So we look in the closest fight on track is Miller and Zitko coming into sector 3.
You guys also covered in the picture-in-picture window on board with Zitko. Literally on board the bumper. Or the hood, sorry.
You'll get there.
Aston is pushing the Lexus through sector 3 and peels off.
Into the pits.
Been
Didn't want to
following
get held
that.
up.
He's been following that Lexus for a good 10 minutes, maybe.
Oh jeez, yeah, that can be
it's
frustrating.
Time. Time to come in.
Although Zico did not have a very good pit entry, as he was very slow.
So we're seeing some side-by-side action here, going by Santos and Schlitz. Going at it. Schlitz does look to be getting the worst of it.
See, this is the problem, as he pit from P2 to avoid traffic that he was faster than, and ended up in traffic that he's faster than.
This will happen. Oh, snaps. Little snap of oversteer, it seems to be. Trying to overcorrect. It is going to clear the way for Schlitz, though. So, your comment just got blown out of the water. Schlitz should be able to go right by as a good car of... Excuse me. Ghost Rider racing car diving up on the inside is able to get the move done. Does have to hold it here for turn 9. That is Browning. Is able to keep it together, but will not have the advantage here down on the main straight. That slipstream is all for Santos. Poking their nose on the inside, not going to be able to get enough speed for it. So Browning will complete that move.
And that V8 run, that Lexus giving him the pace he needs. You see a yellow flag for Wolkowitz, who's dropping a lot of time.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
He went off track in sector 3 a little bit. Gets past him 2 cars.
We'll have a replay
there was
here.
a car off, and he hit him.
That's less
That's
than ideal.
unfortunate.
Look, he didn't pit though. They'll still have the mandatory pit stop. They didn't pit for repairs or anything, so must not be feeling it too hard. So the car is rejoining on track out of the pits. Right behind him. These gaps have grown quite a bit. Zach Sky really the only one in the top 10 that has a decently close battle here.
Yellow flags towards the bottom. Justin Rowley, not sure what happened there.
I will say it's going to be hard to cover every single yellow flag because if we just direct our attention towards the track map and notice that there's pretty much not a blank area on it.
Nowhere is safe.
There's blue flags littered all throughout in there. People going faster than one another, wanting to get by. There's definitely going to be some contact here. Case in point, Zach Sky's getting a better exit here. Not going to be able to make use of it up into turn 9, but we'll try to catch the slipstream down into turn 10. Does look to be having more speed than the car in front. Will they poke their nose out, deciding against it, going for the very long switchback. Not going to be able to get it done. We'll just slot right back in line and have to go through this chicane.
Oh, and Craig is actually ducking into the pits.
So this is interesting. We got to see
in the
where
lead.
We gotta see where Craig comes out in terms of our other pitter who ended up in P22 before.
And it's a longer pit stop, so it could be taking half fuel, but in about 3 seconds we'll figure out if it's longer than that.
Zach Sky is also now diving into the pits himself.
Right behind him.
Oh,
Contact.
that's collision.
I believe Craig is taking tires.
Seems like tires seem to be the way for everyone right now. So there was
Stopped
some,
for a long time.
so that bodes well for everyone that took tires early on, or will it later in the match?
Well,
In the race
luckily, if Craig can get out right now, he's got so much open track.
He indeed does, but that track is indeed closing very rapidly.
Huge group coming through sector 3 right now, fighting.
There is, and there's collision out of the chicane. Luckily, nothing too huge. Davidoff gonna get collected. We'll have to just recollect himself, and I believe Davidoff was one of the people that pit early for the change of tires. Gets spun around, overheated again. So we do have a drive-through for someone.
Can't remember. Davidoff did in fact take a pit, and the time in the pit was a minute.
That's a
and
drive-through
30
for
seconds.
Craig.
It's for Craig.
Oh no.
Race leader having a drive-through penalty now. It has to be served within the first three laps while he's back out on track. So that essentially relinquishes overall control for him.
Yeah, that's brutal. I don't know if anyone in SRA has the pace to drive through in their division and still finish on the podium.
So that makes, I believe that makes Schlitz your kind of overall race leader right now.
Assuming Dunham comes out behind him now, yes. Dunham currently in the pits.
I believe he will. I believe the top 5 currently still have to pit, and I think Schlitz will be able to catch them all if I'm not mistaken. But we will keep an eye on it for you. We are seeing some closer battles coming up. Side by side, Craig is able to get it done. Not the greatest place to let a blue flag by, but you know, it happens.
Gotta be immensely frustrating. He's passing blue flags. He's dove right back into the pits, and then right back behind
Yeah,
him again.
it's very curious to see if he takes this pit stop now, if he's gonna wait. He will indeed take the drive-through now. This might play benefit to him because there is kind of a little gap there that he might be able to aim for.
He also did
But-
take tires.
He did. So this will cool him off if he's overheated them already. Everywhere else, your top 10 have kind of subsided from battling at this very second. You know, below Justin's gonna have to try to fend off Fonseca here. Coming up to the back straight, there is a kind of three-way battle here. Fonseca, Barker, and Justin all here. Justin leading the pack, gonna have to be very defensive. Don't think they got a great exit there. Poking their nose out is Fonseca. Can they get late on the brakes? Not going to be able to be late enough, which opens the door for Barker here on the outside. Not going to be able to get it done there either. So we'll just have to slot right back in. And actually, that causes Fonseca to lose a ton of time to Justin.
I will say, I think Barker had the move there, but driver error. I feel like there was space, and that's why with Fonseca taking the inside line, I think it's very important to know when the move's not going to work, and that way you don't compromise your own line trying to go for a move that's not going to work, because that's what invited Barca in for the turn 10 around the outside.
Pick your battles, pick your battles. What have you been seeing, Bailey?
I've just been having a little bit of connectivity issues that I've been trying to deal with, so I've been a little off.
Been just week 1 things tonight, essentially.
I'm having it here down back to back.
We are seeing Justin going very wide. We're having a pack of 3 right now. Fonseca stuck on the outside. Bark's going to go right up the middle, try to hold this position. He will do. They are still side by side going up here into turn 4. Fonseca does have the lead. Bark going late on the brakes, is able to get the inside. Fonseca goes really deep in the turn 4. That's all Bark's position.
There's nothing out there but a lack of traction and time loss.
Indeed, Justin will hold that position in front of Barker now. Fonseca is going to lose that position. So now we have to slot in and wait. Fonseca's actually dropping off here as well. Barker might want Justin now. All over the rear of him.
I think
he's going to take
pace
a
is
lot of
faster,
curb.
but I don't know if he can get the move done. Oh.
Justin got a very bad exit there. Barker's going to come try on the outside. Justin's going to be put in the late braking territory. Justin not able to get the brakes done. Barker's going to take this position right off Justin's hands. Slot right back in line coming up here for the final chicane.
I feel like the Merc is a disadvantageous pick here for Barker in particular because of the low end torque. Not great for your tires, and this whole race I think is going to come down to who manages their tires the best.
I've seen some people swapping out tires already, and it seems like that's the strat right now. This is working for a few, but unless you're Craig, then yeah, drive through. It's not very good.
Jump on board rear and Dunham trying to make the move. Backs out,
Dunham
thinks
going
better of it. Switchback.
He's able to get it done, went really deep into the corner. He's able to fend off that position very well. Recognizing when someone's extremely late on the brakes.
Again, pick your battles.
It's Friday, it's the pit. Where is Schwartz on track? Overall race leader, P5 currently. Does have some blue flags to get through, but if he keeps going like this, he should be able to get 1, 2, 3, and 4 and potentially just take the win home, but hit very much earlier than everyone else, so those tires are going to be a little bit more worn compared to everyone if they do take tires.
Well, I think he's definitely going to clear 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then he has the next person 7 seconds behind him who also has to pit. I think he's, as long as he keeps it on the track, he's running away with it.
He is indeed. Unless he gets into a blue flag incident, which we do not hope. We strive for clean racing here.
Am I allowed to vote for chaos as a commentator?
Absolutely.
Sure.
I'm hoping for maximum chaos, just generally speaking.
I mean, we had that in the first 5 to 10 minutes.
We're going to hop over to Zitko, Santos, and Craig, who are having a little three-way fight here.
Side by side they go. Almost contact, actually forcing one off into the green, which is not a very good traction zone. Still going side by side here. Baiting doors is going to be able to get the move done. Kind of go straight in line, but side by side here in the turn 9, not where you want to be. Santos on the inside is going to back out of this, taking all that curb, and we'll just let Zitko go, which lets Craig clear the way.
Already made a full second through 2 corners.
That's what happens. Side by side in turn 9 is an absolute killer. If you don't have the racing line with that, you are losing so much time.
Look ahead a little bit to Dockendorf and Davidoff, who are fighting, coming onto the main straight now. I'll say that silver Ferrari looks great.
It really does. Need to see if have the slipstream here to get enough down into turn 1. Doesn't look like it. Not enough speed between the 2 cars. So we'll just kind of wait. There's someone exiting the pits. This will force someone wide.
The car slot in pretty smoothly.
Might slow down a little bit. But those cars will catch up to that other car. Oh, around the outside maybe? Not going to do it. It's slowed down heavily. For
Contact
that.
behind. Someone's in the wall.
Oh, what you want to see. It does look to be... Cannot see. Only there's a yellow flag. There's no yellow flag.
And while all that happened, the top 3 actually did duck into the pits, and Schlitz has been released back into the lead.
That will happen. So Schlitz off to the races. All he has to do is survive essentially for the next 20 minutes.
Cockcroft within half a second behind them, but Cockcroft get to pit.
Yeah, the closest on-track car that has pitted is White Scarborough, who is like 25 seconds behind.
Yeah, at this point, if Cockcroft is trying to send a move, I would back out, let him have it, and just drive my race.
This train that we're watching right now is absolutely insane. There's 2 blue flags battling ahead, which is about to open the door for a lot of these overtakes that happen for our top 7 right here, or 7, 8, 9, and 10. All here in a line. Once we get onto the front stretch, we should see some potential overtaking moves. Or we might see one right now as we are right on the bumpers. Bumper to bumper action right now. Getting a bad exit is Greer. Going to be opening the door for everyone else. Side by side we go. Maybe 3 wide. Not going to happen. We're still going.
What is this? 5 cars
Side by
all over
side.
the track.
We're still side by side going down in turn 1. Might turn into 3 wide if someone's extremely late on the brakes. Everyone deciding to go right back in line. Doesn't want to force anything just yet. Very late on the brakes. There's contact in the back, which is going to collect everyone. Splitting the Red Sea of cars. Only 2 people collected. I believe that's Davidoff and
Potsky.
Thank you.
Look at Craig just bullying drivers on his charge back up for order.
Browning gonna have to go very late on the brakes. Oh, Craig going very deep into Browning. I don't think Browning was expecting that dive from Craig, but Craig's just gonna get on with it and get it done. Browning is able to recollect himself, but loses a position to both Recton and Zitko.
Commentator scores.
It happens. we wouldn't be casters if it didn't happen at least once.
We'll jump back to Santos and Davidoff. We're within a quarter of a second of each other, just pushing each other through corners.
They are about to catch up to this battle of Recton, Zitko, and Browning, not too far behind. So if they start battling ahead, this spells greatness. But they might be battling themselves, as that's a lot of speed. Might be looking down on the inside. They are doing it, poking the nose very late on the brakes. Is able to hold it. Switchback maneuver coming in. It ends up going wide, and Santos keeps that position as Davidoff has to bite his lip and step right back in line.
That sausage curve is very unforgiving. It's very, very close to the track lines.
You really want to avoid it.
But Ferrari will have the advantage coming out of this corner down the straight, this slipstream, and I think he's being a faster car in the straight line.
Yeah, this McLaren's engine power isn't the greatest, but it should be able to hold because it is getting slipstream from in front, and we are actually 2 wide in front as well. Side by side we go down on the inside. Craig on the outside is going to try to close the door. Not going to be able to do so fully, but we'll be able to get it done into turn 2. Actually going to be parking on the apex a little bit. Is able to keep that position, opening the door for Browning to come right back into this. And Craig is actually running wide and has to give up that position and won't be able to dive back and get it.
Acid on acid violence.
It's happened. This has now opened the door, just like I said, for everyone behind. Santos, Davidoff gonna have a very good battle, almost going side by side here. Defensive line by Santos in that McLaren, which is very good on the inside there. Davidoff having to jump right back in line. Browning looking for time to strike, just gonna let these 2 cars fight it off in front of them. Maybe there's some more collision coming down here onto the straight. Santos biting at the bit, just trying to hold off Davidoff. Davidoff should have a good line if he gets a good exit. He does indeed. Choose outside or inside. Santos is going to choose the defensive line. Very good. Davidoff very late on the brakes. Santos is also late on brakes. Side by side we go. Not going to be able to do the move is Davidoff. Santos now on the inside of Browning isn't going to get the move done either.
Someone's
so Browning's going to hold that. We all kind of subside going to the chicane, and someone's off at the
That's an
exit of
inopportune
the
place.
chicane. Yeah, that is a
Dockendorf.
very inopportune place.
No.
Oh, and we're collecting more.
Oof.
Hopefully that is the last of the casualties there. As we have opened the door wide for this battle. About to go 2 wide, possibly 3 wide. Does look like we are about to go 3 wide. Whoever's latest on the brakes will get this move done.
4
Kind of
cars
slot
covered
right
by
back into
blanket.
2 wide. Getting the move done, I believe that is Browning.
Browning leading the pack with Santos directly behind, Davidoff directly behind him, and a little bit further back is Recton and Banks with Wolkowitz just a little bit behind them.
We are bumper to bumper to bumper right now, and this is great. When you wanted chaos to ensue, and here we have it.
This fight for
5-car
P11
battle.
is real spicy.
Indeed is Santos throwing a defensive line to Davidoff. Is able to get it done. Defensive mood succeeded. We are just bunching up the pack here, opening the door. We're about to have a 6-car battle. I'll tell you who's getting the goods of this. Browning is able to just kind of pull away in that Lexus right now. Santos is having to take defensive line after defensive line. That's a bad exit from someone in the back there in the Porsche. No one really close enough to stick their nose out here as we see someone in the pits in your picture-in-picture window.
Oof.
Rigged.
Oh,
Santos came out of the exit of turn 10 real slow and got punted for his troubles.
unfortunately we cannot say anything on that, but to the ticket. It's a shame. That was a very good battle to watch. Browning happy about it though. Bigger gap for him.
Yeah, with some likely some front end damage for the Ferrari behind them.
Indeed. Davidoff gonna have to defend against Banks here. Don't believe Banks will have the engine power to catch up to Davidoff, but we'll be able to kind of catch up in this turn one corner.
That's our last couple drivers jumping in the pits. P39, Sharon, and P19 Thomas Greer.
Someone is off in turn 2.
Matt
Billy.
Browning went deep.
Which could open the door for the rest of these.
And Martin Riggs just coming out of the pits, remains in the top 10 still.
Riggs.
So the team of Ram Ranch, powered by Toyota Tan, repping P9 and P10.
Not a bad day at the office.
No, great.
Oh,
great
very
day.
deep.
Just looking at a couple of statistics here.
Go for
Speaking
it.
of the team of Ram Ranch, Matt Browning's up 26 positions.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is that the most overall?
and his teammate up 18. Sorry,
What's the most positions gained? Matt Brown?
I believe it is Matt Browning.
I'm gonna have to pull him for an interview. Be for his first interview. If he doesn't lose out in the position here. Yeah, put his tires in the grass and might feel the worst of it here. It is able to hold the inside, so that's great for him. We'll just decide to stick back in line. Riggs, Browning, Davidoff, Banks. All together here.
Wolkowitz just staring at the rear end of Banks. These similar livery Porsches come through sector 3.
Ooh,
There's
very
no
late
room
on the brakes
outside.
with both of them.
Oh, the
Banks
goes
gonna
deep.
get that exit. Opening the door for Wolkowitz right on the back of Banks. Should be able to get the move done here in the turn 1. Who's gonna take what line? Banks wants to put their car right in the middle of the track. Sticking out is Wolkowitz down on the inside. Banks is gonna have to try and hold this outside. Goes all the way out, trying to get his maximum speed. There's contact between the two Porsches. No one is gonna be able to be safe. Both cars spun. We'll just have to kind of
It was a little
Get on
awkward, but it
track
gets done with
here.
no contact.
is relatively safe here, but now we are side by side with Banks. 2 by 2 right now, going up into turn 4.
Racing is close enough that any mistake just doesn't end your race, it just puts you in a different fight.
Porsche brakes really good here, but his tires are hot. This actually opens the door. There's contact. There's spin in the back, and Banks is going to be able to get away free as Santos is coming around on the back of him as well now. Contact ruins races. And we've just proven there.
A little bit of love tap, then bumped him back into position. As Davidov is actually taking the time we've been off their fight to close the gap to Riggs now within half a second.
He's been hounding Riggs and Alexis. Any opportunity to catch a mistake, Davidoff is there.
And then an update on our race leader. Schlitz is in fact 22 seconds clear of P2 now that everyone is pitted and come across.
Unreal. Oh, and someone's going deep in the braking zone. Couldn't see who that was. We'll end up giving up that position. Wolkowitz's door is now open for him. But that Porsche power is just not enough. Oh, very shallow entry there.
Ferrari
should be
slow
fine.
coming out of the exit.
Should be fine. It's a Ferrari engine versus Porsche engine.
So we're anticipating a fireball at the end of the straight.
Of course. So we do have just under 10 minutes left in this race, so look for things to get extremely punchy if they haven't been already.
If we jump over to Riggs and Davidoff, still having their fight. You've
Almost
been
going
watching
side
the
by side.
picture, but you get a different angle on it. These cars are tight.
Davidoff going down on the inside. Riggs is not going to have the inside for the next turn. Can they be late on the brake? Riggs is just going to let Davidoff go. Doesn't want anything to do with it right now.
Very smart move from Armand. Very smart move.
Hey, Riggs is on some old tires or doesn't have the defending abilities.
Yeah, you gotta think he's feeling the slip.
Yeah. And you just have to get to the last 9 minutes. That's all you gotta do.
Hold the 3-second gap behind you for 9 minutes is very doable if you don't kill your tires defending.
For sure. Just looking at Craig here, I was just kind of observing. Craig took tires and a drive-through and is up in P5 still.
That's absolutely
Promote him.
Might I say, our current race leader, we haven't had this in a little while, is a silver driver right now.
Yeah.
Our
Silver
top
driver
two are
is
both
short.
silver drivers.
Yep, and then we have Dunham leading the gold division. It's P3.
Jump to Davidoff and Browning again because they're still fighting.
Oh, Browning's going to need that Lexus power here on Ferrari, but that Ferrari is going to get that slipstream over. Should see the nose poke out on the inside here any second now. There it is, nose poked out. That Ferrari coming down on the inside. Browning's going to have to hold the outside here. Is able to hold it pretty cleanly, leaving enough space. Going to come back up on the inside now, but won't have the inside for turn 3. We'll just give up the position to Davidoff. And Riggs and Browning going to give that position away.
That is the advantage of turbos. That Ferrari runs a twin turbo V8 setup, and the Lexus runs a naturally aspirated V8. Turbos equal pace.
The word turbo.
But the Lexus sounds better, so who's really winning?
Depends on how you look at it. Fights have kind of calmed down, which is kind of the exact opposite of what's supposed to happen.
I think everyone's in damage mitigation at this point. They're trying not to spin, trying to keep their tires alive.
It is the first race of the season, so if you can just kind of come home with good points, as a good race result.
Wolkowitz still right up the backside of Pop.
It's a Porsche on Ferrari, so not going to be overtaken on the straight here. Is Wolkowitz actually getting an extremely good exit. I might want to bite my tongue here, because that Porsche is all over the back of Ferrari. Could it be very late on the brakes? He is. Side by side we go, and it looks like Wolkowitz is going to get the better of him.
What a move. Textbook.
Great exit. Set him up for turn 10 perfectly. That Porsche brakes coming in handy. Only issue now is you now have to defend for turn 1.
We'll stay on this up until turn 1 and see how it goes.
We will definitely see this Ferrari come back at the Porsche.
I think the Porsche is getting such a better exit here. Just stretching out the legs.
Maybe something was wrong with that Ferrari. Yeah, that does seem like an extremely big gap, but it's like Wolkowitz. We'll kind of run away with this one, but the race is not over yet. We still have just about 6 minutes left.
Side by side, directly behind.
Alright, doesn't look like he's going to be turning into anything, though. We'll just kind of sit there. slot right back in line. Maybe right, damage mitigation might be the thing, but I do see a three-way battle here.
Yeah, on board with Zico. The battle for P6 got Cockcroft leading the train.
Coming down here in turn 9. Might try something that slipstream. Looks like to be a better exit as well.
Porsche brakes here.
Not gonna do anything. Gonna hold off.
Everyone
Actually, I'm
goes
gonna
wide.
end up going wide here. Is able to hold the position. Everyone slots right back in line. That
Porsche's at bay if it's this close.
A little wiggle of the hips on the exit though.
Yeah.
This Porsche is gonna have a rough time here on the front stretch. Needs an extremely good exit. Does look to be getting a decent one, but I don't think it's enough because that Ferrari power should come back at him as well as that Aston Martin power.
Yeah. It's Cockcroft already weaving.
It's Craig up ahead has made an overtake and is now holding P4.
Insane.
Here he comes. He backs out.
Not gonna do the move. Maybe might be holding off for next time so he doesn't have to do it. But actually gonna open the door for David or Gold behind. We're not gonna be able to capitalize on it. The door shuts relatively quickly.
Aston dividing Porsches and Porsches.
Yeah, Joel.
Oh, we have a look on the inside here. Zico is gonna go for it. Cockcroft not gonna be able to hold it. Coming
no
down
traction
in,
as he's
is gonna end
gone.
up going on the gravel. That's in the wall. That's heavy damage.
With 4 minutes left though, you gotta just live with it.
If you can, unless your wheel is 90 degrees here.
He hasn't teleported to pits, but oof. He has a
So,
2-second gap to Davidoff behind him.
Yeah, I think that gap is going to close relatively quickly as well.
Rubbish on Friday, still fighting.
I think Robichaud's kind of buying his time here. He knows he has about 1 or 2 laps left until the race is finally over, so if he can make the move at the last second, that is the best kind of strategy for him. Both engines relatively equal.
Here's Mercedes power.
You got a slipstream kind of going here down into turn 10. Poking the nose out. Don't think any move is going to be done. We will just slot right back in.
Well, as I said, Cockcroft had a 2-second gap. It's now down to 2/10 in about
Yeah.
4 corners. So you can see in the
That
picture.
that car is heavily damaged. Tires are probably worn out, on fire.
Already slow in the straight, and that Ferrari is just rapidly closing the gap.
Yeah.
Zach Sky gets the pass on Browning though down the straight.
Yeah, Browning might come back here. Can be late on the brakes here. Not gonna choose to do so. I'm starting to think that Browning and Riggs did not take tires here.
They definitely did not.
That's bold in the Lexus, which, for me anyway, very oversteered to drive.
But is it a net gain? Let's be honest here.
That's a good
Because
question.
I believe Bailey said Browning had what, 26 position gain? 23 now?
4.
24?
That's
Yeah,
a
which
respectable race.
Makes Zico actually our biggest winner today with 25 positions taken
So far.
so far.
Still gaining.
But he is 8 seconds behind P5. So
He is indeed, but he does have a decent gap to P7. Nothing huge, but
Wolkowitz has been fighting the entire race.
he is indeed coming up on Santos, and Santos coming up on Dockendorf.
Just would like to throw this out there. I am getting messages from John Donahue right now as he
What?
is currently driving.
Wait, what?
Interesting.
Yes. this boy is texting and driving with me right now.
SRA does not condone.
Oh
Not
my
condoning
goodness.
texting and driving. What was he saying?
He wanted to
Any
put out a
insight?
statement of downfall of Donahue. Day one.
Again? Oh no.
Day 1.
At least it's not day 1 of.
The saga continued. Well,
The saga,
we had
yeah.
the saga in season 5.
Oh no.
Coin,
We're on like episode 5 right now.
Yeah, we had the downfall of Donahue. Then he rose up. We had the rise of Donahue, and then he fell again, maybe, even a little harder, maybe.
Yes.
And he's just
The roller
keeps
coaster
going
for this
down.
guy. Now he's texting and driving at the same time.
Is Donahue in the Porsche again?
Yes.
He is in the Porsche again.
Okay, well, no excuses, Donahue.
With less
Can't
than a
say new
minute
car.
left, Dunham is within a second of White Scarver for P2. But there is a blue flag in between them, it looks like.
We should have one more lap after they cross the line, unless they take 30 seconds here to get through Sector 3.
Leaders on
The rest
final
of
lap.
Sector 3. Oh, dive on the inside. Very bold. Not going to be able to do it. Is going to get a better exit here. Might look for the slipstream. Should have it. On board. Literally on board. On the hood.
They say I like his liveries. Now we get to see it.
Not going to be able to do a move here. Oh, White Scarver going to have to be very cautious on the brakes
Slow.
here. His tires might be dead right here. Dunham absolutely gaining in the corners, just losing it on the straights. Going to take the defensive line is White Scarver on the outside. White Scarver's going a little deep. Has to react is Dunham. Will not be able to get that position back. Going to have to try something else here on White Scarver. We are being followed by a blue flag. It's not Craig, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. Craig is almost 15 seconds behind.
White Scarver being very slow right here. Dunham wants all by White Scarver. In fact, his only chance might be here in turn 10. Needs an extremely good exit.
Seems to
Does
gotten
have it. White Scarver gonna have to go very defensive. But it's going down on the inside very late on the brakes. That's a very tight turn to make. White Scarver squeezing him to the inside. Side by side we go. Is gonna have the inside line, but now White Scarver has the inside line. So we might just have to slot right back in. Possible switchback maneuver here. Is still trying to hold that outside. Not going to be able to do it again. Very wiggly. I'm going to have to pull off a dive of the century here just to get something done. Looks like he's going for it. Not going to be able to do it. There is contact.
No.
Oh. Luckily
Luckily
we're
good turnaround.
straightening out.
That,
So-
I find that perfectly acceptable. He went for it,
Nothing.
didn't make it work, gave it back to him.
No
Yes.
punishment.
No punishment.
Oof.
Luckily White Scarver got straightened out there. But your winner, who we didn't cover because of all the action, Schlitz.
He's
Let's fly a
boring.
mile.
25 seconds ahead of the pack. Slow down if you want to be on stream, okay?
Schlitz is your silver winner. Dunham is your gold winner. We'll have to get interviews with both of those guys as we do still have battles here on the track. Sky going down on David off. Not going to be able to do it. So we'll just slot in line. We'll get his P10. Spanks all over the back as well on Riggs as well. Riggs just has to hold it to the line. Bumper on bumper action right now. Is able to hold it off. Banks gonna have to just slot in line. And that is a 11-12 for Ghost Rider Racing Ram Ranch powered by Toyotathon.
See everyone coming out of the last
That's a
corner.
mouthful.
Everyone's close, but it's very hard to make an overtake coming out of the sector.
Very hard to make an overtake coming out of that last corner in general as well. So as the last few people cross the line, final thoughts on the race. Start with Bailey.
Intense from start to finish. That first few laps was non-stop. I was blown away. Blown away.
To say the least. We'll have to look for interviews here. While we do that, Waleed, thoughts on the race? First week one.
Tires seem to be a necessity, but beyond that, the actual race itself, D4 is going to be a fun watch this season. It's real tight. If we take out the fact that Schlitz kind of walked away, which probably would have been the case if Craig had dodged a drive-through penalty, pretty much P3 to P38, 40 had really close racing throughout the whole race. So I'm looking forward to some of our more interesting circuits where it won't be 100,000 degrees on track.
Hopefully, let's see if we can grab Schlitz here, or possibly Dunham. Who is our gold driver winner. Not seeing a lot of people in chat, which is a very big first, might I add.
Race did just finish, so we might need to give him a sec.
No, we gotta go right now.
No.
No, we need to give him a sec.
We get paid
We
by
can
the
throw
hour.
it- It's okay. We can throw it over to the interview screen, and the people can look at our nice, lovely faces.
Yeah. Featuring Stuart Little.
Sorry.
Was that a plugin I was supposed to find? Stuart Little?
Yeah, that's Taylor.
Well, we can gladly direct this attention off because Schlitz is in chat. And Schlitz has happened to win the overall race as well as the silver division championship race. Schlitz, how you feeling? First win of season 6.
It's a lot different than not even finishing a top 10 last season, so it feels pretty good. A lot of practice in the off season after the initial quali.
Well, I will say we're already getting cheers in chat. Schlitz the D1, so good luck up there, I guess. Yeah, take us through what was kind of the thought process, the strategy, because we've seen a lot of people would take tires, not take tires. So what was your thoughts going into the race and what actually happened?
So I'm assuming that's what happened to Caleb. He took tires.
Yes, and he got a drive-through.
Oh, I was wondering, and then somebody else was putting pressure on me also before my pit stop, and I was wondering what happened to them also, but. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of felt like the car kind of came into itself, after the initial wear. It actually felt pretty stable, a lot better than I thought it was going to be towards like the last 20 minutes.
So you didn't
but
take tires?
I did not take tires, no. I think I was lapping 147s towards the end consistently. But I was curious. Like I was like, my initial thought was Caleb must have taken tires and he's going to come back and just blow right by me. But that's not the case.
Well, whether it's luck, I'm going to call it skill, but
No, it's definitely luck. He was leaving me behind, man. That Ferrari is wicked fast.
yeah, he clawed his way back to what, P4 was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, P4.
Holy smokes.
So, I mean, hey, let's hope this isn't the last we see you up here. We have a break next week, so get your practice in for. I'm already forgetting the.
You got this. You got this.
Already forgetting the.
Misano?
Misano.
Sorry,
We're
guys.
supposed to sit here and watch him.
I got
Train up for Misano. You got 2 weeks to do it. Hope to see you back on the podium, hopefully winning the race as well. Enjoy the win, though, for now.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yep, have a good night.
You too.
Schlitz, everyone. And I believe we need. Who finished gold first?
Was it Dunham?
Dunham. Where is he at? I don't see him in chat. See David Off, Craig, Davis.
Don't read everybody starting from the top.
I don't see Dunham anywhere.
We do not have a Dunham.
We do not have a Dunham. Well, if we can't get Dunham, who we want to get?
That's it. Good night,
That's it?
everybody.
Oh my god. We still have time for one more interview. Come on. Who we got? Who
we
we
have
want?
time to
Who we
interview
want?
everybody.
That is true. Who we want?
Do we have Riggs? Not Riggs.
Oh, we don't want to pull up Riggs. Riggs is hosting.
Yeah, Riggs is doing his thing.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, we definitely want to pull him up.
I would say I'd pull up his teammate if we want to do that.
But he is also hosting one in the other chat. I'm
No,
pretty
he's
sure.
not. I got this. I got this.
Can't tell him the most. Can't say he's the most positions gained because he wasn't.
We can't, but he's a good person at heart.
Chat saying Browning, Davidov.
Browning's the first, then I shall get Browning.
This is the first name I see in chat.
You just said.
Where's he?
He joined somewhere.
I see him.
Grab him.
No.
He's in race chat 5. I'm pulling him in.
Get him. Matthew Browning. Not a top 10 finish, but definitely a race to be proud of. Over 20 positions gained. Walk us through it.
Well, first off, just a team orders there. I sacrificed the top 10 finish to Sky. And not because he was faster or anything. I mean, I'm not going to say that. But
I knew there were team orders involved.
yeah, and he wasn't running our livery either. So it's like, should I let him by? Or... But I don't know. Honestly, I just got really lucky with a lot of incidents to where I was just at the perfect point where the people in front of me had to slow down, and I just was at the part farther back where I didn't have to, and I kind of got through. So I gained a bunch of places there, and then I had a really good middle part of the race. Maybe from minute 40 to like minute 25-ish. My tires felt good, the pace felt okay, and a good pit stop, and luckily we had a great finish.
It's good to hear. Good points coming out from your team, Ghost Rider Racing Ram Ranch, powered by Toyotathon.
Exactly. Very good job there. Appreciate
So
that.
what's the outlook for the rest of the season? I know we have a 2-week break now.
So this was gonna be kind of our whatever happens race. We didn't feel too confident doing all our practice early in the week, but we had a really good finish. So it's a great stepping off point for the rest of the season. And I think, we feel pretty strong in the upcoming races. So with the week off, get our minds right, get some practice in, and keep on rolling.
Well, we do have 1 week off. You're right. Then we go to Misano, and we hope to see you there. Hopefully, a top 10 finish, maybe a race win.
I don't know a race win, but we'll see.
We'll see a race win. Enjoy the night. Enjoy the finish. Have fun.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay.
Guess not.
Well, that's week 1 in the books for Division 4. How are we feeling after that? What's the outlook for the rest of the season here?
Nothing. Good night.
It's going to be so tight. I can't wait to watch the rest of the races.
It's going to be extremely tight. If we have that much action in every single race, can't wait to see it. And if you want to see it, make sure you follow and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Catch their streams every single week here at Division 4. And if you're liking what you're seeing on track, you want to be a part of it, head on over to simracingalliance.com. Join the Discord. Get on in here. We're all a bunch of fun-loving groups of people who like to talk, get better, no judge environment ordeal. So come join us. And of course, thanks to all of our partners who you've been seeing kind of scrolling across our screens. Any final thoughts, Bailey?
Just getting called by from Jerry there in the chat. I was getting called the Mr. Tom Brady, so I'm good for the night.
Okay. Wally?
We'll do better with the technical issues.
Yes.
That's my only commitment to going forward.
We'll iron out those issues. Getting back. But signing out for week 1. Hope to see you back here in 2 weeks here at Misano. Good night, everyone. Division 4 out.